To begin, all employees who will be eligible for the 2025 performance evaluation process will be hires, rehires, and promotions prior to August 1st, 2025. All of those individuals will be included in this evaluation period. A look at the timeline of the review process, which we will talk more in depth about in a moment. February 1st through the 7th, employees will be invited to complete a self-review. While optional, completing a self-review is strongly encouraged. February 8th through the 14th, general managers will complete the performance evaluations for their teams and submit proposed merit increases. February 15th through the 21st, district managers will complete performance evaluations for their general managers and review overall district results and merit recommendations. The directors will complete the performance evaluations for the district managers during this same period. February 22nd through the 28th, the directors will review their regional performance results and recommendations for merit. And then March 1st through the 7th, the final evaluations and merit increases will be reviewed and approved by Scott. March 8th through the 27th, the performance reviews will be released in Paycom, at which time employees will have access to see their review, and managers should begin promptly discussing the reviews and merit increases with their direct reports. March 8th will be the approved pay rate changes. They will be effective in Paycom, and they will be reflected in the March 27th paycheck for anyone that is applicable to receive a merit increase. The performance review will be comprised of 5 sections. This is the same review criteria that you have seen in the previous years. The review sections are assigned per position, and those competencies for the crew and the shift, the HRG guiding principles will be across the board. Everyone in the organization will be held to the guiding principles and evaluated on that criteria. Delivering a Daymaker experience, building and retaining your team will be specific to the shift review, and teamwork will be tailored to the crew review. Driving results, professionalism will be for both. The rating scale. You'll see this again as I navigate through the tutorial. The rating scale will be a scale of 1 to 5. 1 being below expectation, the performance was unacceptable, needs immediate improvement. Needs improvement, employees' performance did not consistently meet expectations. Meeting expectations, they've achieved the results and are consistent. 4, exceeding expectations, employees achieved those results. The performance was always of exceptional quality. And then 5, exceptional. This should be reserved, as well as number 4, for those top performers that you find a very small amount of in your stores. The general population to have a really well-rounded review should be somewhere in that meets expectation category. Preparation. So as we begin next week to launch our performance evaluations, please ensure ahead of time that you can log into your personal Paycom account as well as your Paycom manager account. If you cannot access the Paycom account, if you are accessing your employee service account, you can log on and do a user login password reset. If it's a manager account, you'll need to call me for support, which I'll talk about in a moment. On February 1st, all eligible employees will receive the following email notification with a link to complete the review in Paycom. This is what the email notification will look like for everyone in the organization that is eligible. To complete the review, you will log into your employee self-service account. If you do not know your password or your team needs assistance logging in, you can click on the login tips at the bottom. When you select the login tips, you'll be able to access one of two YouTube videos. This YouTube video will give you a very brief tutorial on how to reset your username, and then this login password reset. These are the QR codes. If you don't know how to access Paycom at all, you can click on this. Again, when I send out this presentation, the embedded links and the screenshots with the QR codes will be available to you and to show your team if they need assistance. All right, let's get down to it. So the first step is going to be logging in to your employee self-service account in Paycom. So you're logging in, you're using this pass screen here, you're putting in your username and password, and you've arrived at this screen. You will do your self-eval by clicking one of two ways. You can click at the bottom where the performance box is squared, or you can click at the far right where there's a star and a bell notification. Either way will navigate you to the next screen, which you will complete your review using. To complete your review, it's as simple as 3 steps. The first step will be to click on the Start button. It will say accrue for anyone that's in a crew position. It will say a shift supervisor, a shift leader, a general manager, a district manager. Your position will be assigned to the review. So your review will show up and you will click Start. And then again, 1, 2, 3, the first step, you'll go through all of the different competencies, which I shared with you earlier per your position, and you will rate yourself on those criterias. Your employee rating will be a scale of 1 to 5. After you go through each category and select your rating, you can add comments. The comments are optional. You can do it throughout the review, or you can do it at the end and do an overall comment. So step 1, enter your rating. Step 2, electronically sign the review. This will be the employee acknowledgement that you had an opportunity to complete the review and give your feedback. Step 3, and the final step for the employee self-service review, is to submit for approval. So do the review, add comments if you'd like, electronically sign and submit, and you're done. The eval is completed. You will have 1 week to complete the self-eval. Next, we're going to talk about completing the supervisor review. This is going to be new for everyone as well. To complete the supervisor portion of the review, you will need to log in to the Paycom client login portal. This looks different than your employee self-service portal. You will put your username and your password. Our client code for HRG is 0CD59. Managers cannot reset passwords like you could do in the employee self-service portion. If a manager needs their password reset, or you do not know what your username and password is, you will need to contact me and I can simply do that for you. Once you log in to the portal, you will go to the Talent Manager section. You will look at Performance Management. Step 1, Performance Management, under the Talent Management box. Step 2, you will select Performance Dashboard. In the Performance Dashboard, it will provide you with an overview of the performance review status for all of your direct reports. If the self-reviews were not completed during the time frame given, the 1st through the 7th, employees can no longer submit them. The supervisor process has moved on to that phase, which is the 8th through the 14th of February. So you can review and see who all has done their reviews by looking at not started, submission, approval, and then simply click on, which is step 3 here, the employee name in which you look and in which you would like to review. If you need reminded what the rating scale is, on the far right of that screen, you can click on the hyperlink and the rating scale will show up. Then you will go through the review process for the employee that you are reviewing. You will complete the review and all of the criteria and the competencies that are assigned to that individual. You would do that by selecting the rating for how they performed during the 2025 review period. Comments on this section are optional. Comments can be submitted again per question or overall at the bottom when you complete the review. Please note that the employee's self-review will not be visible to you until after the evaluation is completed and finalized by all leadership levels. That means all the way through until Scott reviews and releases the reviews in March. So you will not be able to see the employee feedback through this process. You will be simply reviewing the employee based on the feedback that you have as their direct supervisor. If you have not been their direct supervisor for the 2025 review period, you should ask your manager for some assistance, and or we can ask for another manager to help you complete the review that may have had leadership of that individual during that associated time frame. After completing their review, you should review the overall rating section and see what it entitles. This person has met expectations. They've achieved the result. They are consistent. And these ratings describe employees who are successful at doing their jobs. The supervisor uploaded document portion, again, you can ignore that. So after you review the rating, and it will tally up all of the scores that you have put in for each competency, it will give you a tally of that rating. Then you will go to step 5, which will be sign and send to the next approver. So you will have your employee's signature on the bottom left side here, which signifies that the employee submitted their review. You'll submit your signature saying that you've done your review to the best of your knowledge of that employee's performance. And then you would just, again, simply save and send to the next approver. When you are finished doing the review of your employee, it will toggle you back to complete the review of the rest of your team. You'll see as you complete the reviews, the overall bell curve of what the rating assessments are, and you'll see what the scores look like. You'll see if you've rated your team predominantly exceeds expectation, then that bar to the far right is going to be a lot higher than it shows here. If it is a lower overall score average, then it will be a higher bar chart at the beginning where it is 0 to 2. We are next going to go into a demo of completing the supervisor assessment. I just gave you an overview of the screenshots in which you can use to do this, but I want to also just give you a visual of that. So you'll log into Paycom, and as the manager, you'll put in your employee information. Again, you're going to go to Talent Management, Performance Management, Performance Dashboard. And then you're at the point where you can do your review. It's pretty simple. You will look at the reviews that your employees have completed as the self-review and see where they're at in the process. Assessments that still need to be submitted, you'll have a green bar, and that will continue to fill up as your reviews are done. And then you'll see your employees down below. When you do your employee evaluation, you will click on your employee, and then you will review the competencies. You will click on the rating scale and add any comments that you would like to provide during that review. You'll do that for all of the competencies and ratings that I talked about previously. And when you go to the bottom, you'll see over here the overall evaluation and what that total review ended up being. You'll see your employee signature. You'll put your signature and then sign and send to the next approver. The next phase of this is going to be an overview of the compensation workbook. And my counterpart, Ryan, is going to help me with delivering that.
Yeah. Hey guys, nice to meet all of you.
Ryan. So in
You
the
wanna run-
supervisor, I'm going to just give a visual of the compensation workbook and how the managers will proceed in selecting that in Paycom. So we just showed you in Paycom how to do the review. The next part of this, after you do all of your employees' reviews, and this is going to run concurrent with the same timeline that I presented earlier. So that second week of February, general managers, you'll do your review, and then you'll also do this compensation management part. This is the merit that's going to be tied to the ratings and the review scale for your employees. So once you do the performance evaluation section, you'll go to the top of your screen under the talent management to compensation management, compensation transaction dashboard, and then you'll arrive at your workbook. You will have a workbook for your location. Your restaurant will need to total a 2% increase for everyone at or below a 2% increase. The performance rating scale is in the middle here. So this is the scale that the performance ratings that are tied to how you reviewed your employee will equal. Ryan, do you want to jump in?
Yeah, I'll jump in here. So just for you guys, something that's good for you, based on how you look at the employee and how their overall review is finalized, it's going to dictate their merit increase. Yeah, as discussed, 2% is the max for the ultimate goal. So these are going to be set up for the budgeted percent increase of 2%. As you go through these, you'll be able to see what the true numbers are. And on the right-hand side, you can see, if you could go back real quick. On the right-hand side, it's going to show you the overall on where you're trending and where you're at. Green is good, red is bad. So the ultimate goal is to make sure that where it says 0.59, that number is less than 2%. It also translates to the dollar amount as well. So again, both these are based on the annual, compounding all the employees that are included in your grouping for the compensation. Thank you.
Okay.
And then we could jump to the next slide. Cool. So this is going to be defaulted for you guys, right? So you'll be able to see where the employee merit increase percentage is expected to be based on what their overall review is. If somebody's capping at the top of the pay scale, the system's smart enough to stop them there, so you won't have to worry about it on that end. The only thing is the system will give you a warning if overall you guys are hitting above that 2%. So there's going to be next to that green recalculate button, there's going to be a caution symbol there that's in red. It's very hard to miss. And again, a lot of this is going to be defaulted. So you can see where the employee hits for their performance review and what the percent change is going to be is directly related. The example at the top is somebody that's at the top of the pay scale. The 3.19 would be somebody that is, still within the pay scale starting to max out, but that percentage is going to be automatically calculated. So you guys will not have to worry about it from your end. It will also translate to you the hourly rate, what the current versus what the new rate is going to be. So if there's any questions on that end, you're able to answer that as well for the employee. And this is exactly what I was talking about. So the over budget, the out of budget, again, that overall number that we're looking at, if you are rating your employees, you're consistently having a 4 and a 5, there's a very high chance that you're going to be out of budget trying to hit that 2%. So this little warning symbol at the top is going to show for you saying you're out of budget or you're above that 2% that was budgeted for this calendar year. So working through your reviews, making sure you hit that overall percentage accurately is critical.
So if you see when you're doing your workbook that there are warnings, you can click on the warnings and the folks that are outside of the range will show up. For example, Lily, she's a crew member. Her proposed rating that you entered, or if you put exceeds and it moved her to the highest level of the increase, would take her to 1550. We know that the maximum for the crew member is $15. What you will need to do in that case will be to go back to the merit workbook and adjust her performance merit increase accordingly. So you would take this 50 cents perhaps down to 25 cents or less than that, whatever you needed to have that equal. You would do the same for anyone else until these warnings are cleared out. You cannot submit an increase for someone that exceeds the salary range. If there are individual scenarios, you need to talk through that with your regional director, your district manager. Scott will ultimately be the final approver of anyone that we need to talk about in those situations, but they should be very few. We need to keep everyone within the min and the max of the ranges. The general managers, again, you must have your reviews and your merit workbook completed by February 14th. Again, this is going to run concurrent. So you're going to do your reviews. And then after you do your reviews, you're going to go back into this compensation workbook and then start looking at all of your employees. You're going to look at the top if there's any warnings, if you're out of budget. It will be a quick signal that you need to do some work to change the reviews below. Look at the important warnings. Look at anyone that's outside of the salary range. After you finish this and you get to a place where it does not have out of budget and you're within the budget and there's no red left, it's all green, then you will be completed. You only have that week to complete both of those sections. The district managers will then be reviewing your restaurants that following week and reviewing the workbooks to make sure that everything is still within the budget of the 2% or lower. I am going to stop sharing my screen and I'm going to stop the recording so that if anyone has questions that you want to share, we can talk through those.